afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 2315 of the XBA and PST Full English podcast.
And Vidcast.
I thought you'd pick me up on that. So, great start to the year. I got that right. Yay! Welcome to episode 2315, like I just said. This is basically our gotcha special.
Game of the year.
I love that he's wrote his name on the bottle.
I don't want anyone sucking on my water.
You're such an old woman.
You are.
Have you noticed? He was doing a thing today. He's got a special routine that he has with his digestive biscuits when he has tea with them.
No?
He splits them in half so they maintain their strength after a dunk.
Yeah.
And then he licks the edge of
Before
the bits
dunking.
that he split before dunking to get the little breadcrumbs
off so they don't go in the tea. I don't want crumbs in the bottom of my tea. It's gross.
You're a serial killer. That's the kind of thing that a
Not
serial
yet,
killer
but I'm
would do.
planning-
You called me a psychopath, right?
You are a
I
psychopath.
passed the psychopath
Yes.
test,
Oh yeah,
right?
but you do.
No, I
You
don't.
genuinely
I
do.
don't.
But a very small percentage of psychopaths are killers.
Yeah, of
Rich
course.
is a
yeah,
killer.
I know.
I
Yeah.
haven't killed anyone though.
You bet you would, and you'd like pull their arms off one by one and lick the ends, or something weird like that.
No. It's like Mr. Maggie says: respect all living things.
What a dick.
I won't even kill a fly. I'll let it out the window or whatever. It's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck
I
that.
won't swat a fly. I'll kill a wasp because they're just nasty.
Why?
Because they sting you for no reason.
Well,
No good
He
reason.
turns things off at the wall. That's the behaviour of a psychopath.
Yeah, that is actually.
No, that's
that
just
annoys
trying
me.
to preserve.
No, that annoys
electricity.
me because you have.
Because I'm worried about the future.
No, because you have. But that's not going to change anything.
No, it won't. But in my own mind, I'm doing my bit.
And his obsession with bottles as well.
Yeah.
What, recycling plastic bottles? What?
It's like.
That's not the behaviour of a serial killer.
No,
I
but
need to recycle this now.
it's the behaviour of like. It's a weird kind of thing that you get into.
I don't see how that's weird. I don't see how
Because-
wanting to recycle is weird.
No, just not. It's just the habits that you do.
I'm just trying to keep the office tidy.
He is a creature of habit, for
Yeah.
sure.
But
that's-
shit habits, right?
What do you mean? I'm trying to keep the office tidy. There's
Shut up.
plastic bottles everywhere. You guys, look at this. Bottle. There's another 3 fucking bottles back here. There's 4 bottles on Dan's desk. There's 2 on Lee's.
I drink a lot.
That's
I
ridiculous.
drink a lot of fluids.
No, you don't drink the whole thing. This is what he leaves a little bit at the bottom
I'm not
every time.
Oh, no,
And then he's got 2 others the same. This is what I have to put up with.
It's nice to know that 2015 podcasts are going to be more focused.
Yeah.
Tight.
Well, that's what I was thinking. For 2015, we're totally keeping the format exactly the same.
Well, no, this is good because so basically the format of this week's episode is we have 9 games. We each have 3 games we're going to discuss for our game of the year. I know we only put 7 up in the list, and Dark Souls 2 isn't on here because nobody but Lee,
It's
Mr.
not.
Abrahams,
Yeah.
Lee
is
Evans played it.
qualified to talk about it really.
Dark Souls 1 was enough for me, personally.
But yeah, what we're going to do is we've got 3 games each. We're going to do 5 minutes a game. So this is actually the most structured podcast we will ever have.
Yeah.
But I knew that we had 5 minutes at the beginning to waffle.
Well, the idea is that it's our personal games of the year, and then we'll have a fiery, heated debate maybe about them.
Yeah.
No.
Possibly. No,
Well, no,
you
'cause-
don't want to debate.
Well, no, but we've already decided
You
our
don't
game
want
of the year.
mass debate.
So we're going to do 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 45 minutes. That takes us from the 5-minute waffly intro to that to 50 minutes, and then 10 minutes at the end to discuss why our game of the year is the game of the year.
I don't think we're capable of sticking to a structure.
We are.
I think it's going to go
I'm
off
not
a
going to
tangent.
start until that says 5 minutes.
You're gonna stick to it,
so
aren't
I'm going to stick to
Sit
that
here
much.
for a minute,
Can
shall we?
Let's just sit here in silence.
For a minute.
For 50
we
more
might as well,
seconds.
let's go on with it.
No.
Let's crack on.
No, I refuse to.
Who's
We-
going first?
No, so we're going to start with... We'll let Lee get his shit out of the way, and I can just go no.
My first one? You can't
No.
say no to my first one. Oh, you want me to do that? All right.
No, actually, let's start with that.
Or maybe go in ascending order, so you're from your least favourite to
I
your...
haven't. That's
No,
not how
no,
mine
no,
works.
Then,
we
no?
can't do that.
Why not?
That's not how mine works.
Because then the actual game of the year will
Right.
be too close to the game of the year talk.
Alright, fine.
And I'm pretending like, oh, it's a big surprise. I'm not going to tell you what game of the year
It's
is.
in the article,
You just
you
read
can
it on
read
the
it right
side.
now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, exactly.
Go on, so.
But we're gonna kick off with Lee, and we're gonna kick off with the most depressing game of the entire generation.
Which
So
is
far.
Destiny, right.
5 minutes, look at that.
Destiny's my most played game this year, as anyone who's ever met me knows. I've played it for 10 days, I think it's approaching now, straight, however many hours that is, 250?
240.
Something like that.
250?
If it's any consolation, I'm offended that this has made the 9 shortlist. What did we give it, 7?
I gave it 75. I should have given it
How does this make the shortlist of one of your best 3 games of the year?
Okay. Because I've played it more than anything else. But mostly because of the raids. No, because of 2 things. Because of the quality of the shooting. I genuinely think that there isn't a better shooting game out there. When it comes to pointing a gun at something and pulling a trigger, nothing is more satisfying than Destiny.
That's just not true.
Nothing.
It's just not true.
But
I would argue
mechanically...
that there are better games.
There are
games
definitely.
that do it just as good.
There are numerous better games that do it better, I think.
And there
Better?
are 2, and I'll tell you what,
Wolfenstein?
we'll start this
Or
way. My next game is a shooter. Rich's next game is a shooter.
And I think they both do things better than Destiny.
Well, I'm not going to... Why we hide it. The next game that I'm going to talk about in 3 minutes, and it's going to be Titanfall, and then the game that Rich is going to talk about is going to be COD.
So what you're saying is Titanfall and COD have got better shooting than Destiny?
Yeah.
Just as good.
Justify your Destiny love properly.
Yeah, you know what? On. Yeah. Come on.
Justify. This is your moment.
I'm doing it. I'm trying to, but you're talking about COD and Destiny.
Go on.
No, it was Titanfall.
Go on.
You're meant to be talking
about
Destiny.
Destiny.
I'm just trying to distract him so this 5 minutes is up really quickly.
I've played through those missions over and over and over again, probably approaching hundreds of times, but it's still fun. 1, because of the quality of shooting, and 2, because of the quality of the AI. The way that all of the different enemies act. Individually, they're pretty stupid, right? They jump, they pull out from the side, they do a little twist. But when you put them in a mob together, and you've got 3 or 4 different types of enemy, it's like a beautifully choreographed dance. So every time it plays out slightly differently. And when you shoot their head, it explodes and goes... So it's really fun. But the actual best thing about Destiny are the raids. The raids are the most interesting, mechanically involved multiplayer things I've ever done and anyone has ever done on console. Nothing is more interesting.
Okay.
I disagree.
6, but you don't even know what happens in them.
No, but you're doing the same shit.
No, but you're not.
It's a co-op mission.
But that plays out like no other co-op mission ever has on in a console game.
Yeah.
Had the raids been in the game at launch?
Nothing like that.
Left 4 Dead?
Nothing like Left 4 Dead.
With the AI director?
No, because Destiny's got the Vault of Glass, it's got stealth sections, it's got platforming sections, it's got things where you're not even in the same dimension as the other players.
What score would you have given the game if you'd reviewed it?
75.
Yeah, there you go again.
Wait, who reviewed it?
I did. Yeah.
But that was before the raids weren't there at launch.
Raids took a while to...
Well, we can't review a promise.
Yeah, we can't review
We can
something
only
that's
review
not there.
what's put in front of us.
And we did wait a long time
absolutely, yeah.
to review it.
The other good thing is that the weapons in Destiny, as I've played through the game, I've changed the weapons that I've used, not just because of the level, but because of the things that I've needed to do. And every time I do that, it transforms the game. Whether you're using an auto rifle or you're favouring like a fusion rifle, it completely changes how the game plays and keeps it interesting.
So your impassioned speech makes me want to revisit it, but I know I'd just go back. It does a little bit. I'd go back and I'd be like, 10 minutes, what am I doing? What? Forget it, I'd rather be playing something else.
You haven't sold it to me.
One thing I will say is that unless you've got 5 people to play with regularly, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
I think that's fair.
I'd rather play the crew.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm quite up for the crew. Yeah. I want to get it at some point.
Yeah.
I got it working again. I took to Twitter the other day and was pissed off because I was stuck on a black screen.
The other day on Twitter about the crew.
It's working.
And it was ever since I hadn't been able to get them properly. Ever since Xbox Live was taken down.
Yeah.
By Lizard
Squad.
Squad.
They've released a 200 meg patch and it seems to have fixed it.
Oh really? When was that?
A couple of days ago. I just downloaded it. It wasn't publicised, it was just there. I was like, oh, now the game works.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Destiny, we'll get the shit out of the way and we can actually concentrate now on the good games throughout the rest of the show. And here we Titanfall.
Titanfall.
I'm literally sticking to the
Really?
5-minute buzzer.
That was never 5 minutes.
That was 5 minutes.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah.
go on then.
Titanfall, best multiplayer shooter. We gave it in the end, didn't we? What did we?
Yeah, we did.
What was second and third? Call of Duty and...
I can't remember what the other one was. Call of Duty 1 on PS3. On PST, rather.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Titanfall for me was the best multiplayer shooter of the year.
So why are you still playing it?
Yeah, why aren't we still playing it?
Because I haven't got enough time to play games. I wanted to call Halo in this category the best multiplayer
You
shooter.
couldn't.
I know, right?
You
It's
couldn't.
such a...
If it had worked.
obviously.
Yeah, if it worked, yeah.
And for me, that would have been the best multiplayer game.
But then, would it have been because
Mm.
they're old games remastered, and I thought we were steering clear of that kind of thing?
You got 4 multiplayer games.
Well, I guess.
But you say that, like, we're going massively off
Yeah,
topic.
yeah.
But yeah, Titanfall, for me, that was easily the best multiplayer shooter of the year. And the reason I'm not playing it now is because I need to play it more often.
It would have been nice if it had had a proper single player as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it misses that, obviously. And that's why it didn't get a 9 in our review, right? I think it gave 88.
I think you did.
No, yeah, it was
did it get
88.
88?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't get a 9 because it didn't have a single player component.
I love
Which is
campaigns.
okay. Like, if you sold a game completely as a multiplayer shooter, fine. But they put a single player in it, and it's a bit shit.
Oh, the campaign thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just basically multiplayer. But it wasn't... They tried to tell a story, which
Yeah.
is bollocks. But yeah, but in terms of the mobility, the movement, the shooting mechanics, better than Destiny. The mechs, everything about Titanfall was worthy to make it one of the best shooters of
I'm
the year.
surprised they didn't
One
add
of the
more
best
Titans
games.
in the DLC though. I would have thought that would be a no-brainer. Add
Yeah,
another Titan.
but I
to-
always ended up using the Atlas.
Yeah, same.
Did you really? You
It's
both
the
used
all-rounder,
same one?
yeah. I fannied about with the Strider for a little bit, and I was like, it's too weak. I
Yeah.
like the Atlas.
And then you were funny about with the
What's the
Ogre.
one? The Ogre, and it's
And
too
it's too
sluggish.
slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was Atlas because it's got mobility and
And a bit of strength.
Was that the same with like the people you were playing against? Did they favour that Titan as well?
Seemed
So
to be.
everybody did.
actually no, there was a good mix.
Yeah.
There's some good Strider players because it's got the most boost dashes,
Right.
so you can zip around the map quite fast. But I'm not good enough to do that.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Do you think? See, my issue with this and with COD is that they're great, but they don't give me enough reason to carry on playing. Once you've prestiged or whatever, it's like, well,
Yeah, but in Titanfall you gen up, don't you?
Yeah, you can
Several
do it 10
generations.
times.
it's essentially, isn't it? Essentially the same thing, though.
yeah, but you have no, because Call of Duty when you prestige, you level up. But when you gen up, you have to use specific weapons to do challenges, specific Titans to do challenges, so you have to mix it up.
Okay.
So it's not just kill loads of people. It's kill loads of people with this gun.
Okay.
Do loads of headshots.
It's like
with
Destiny
this gun.
bounties.
Yeah, before Destiny was out.
But we haven't been back to that game since like they patched in the black market and all that other stuff, have we?
No.
Yeah, we need
But
to.
that was more because, like, when did it come out? March?
Yeah.
And which was great, which meant I got to play it for a few months.
I think most people had slowed down playing it by the time that big patch came, right?
Yeah.
I do want to go back to it.
But then E3 came, and then came back from E3, and it was Gamescom season, and then it was review season.
It's just been one thing after another.
Yeah,
Right?
so... Yeah.
Yes.
Not ideal. I would like to go back and play it, but for me, it's... I wouldn't say it's truly next gen, because I played it on last gen, and it played pretty good.
It was pretty much the same.
Yeah, pretty much the
wasn't
same, just didn't look as pretty.
Mm.
But it's a good indication of the evolution of the shooter, I would say.
Yeah.
Where you look at Call of Duty, and that's obviously evolved, and Call of Duty has moved down the same line as Titanfall, even though they will disagree.
No, they said they didn't know what Titanfall was doing
Bullshit.
when they were developing the game.
Bullshit.
Well, no, it sounds believable.
Bullshit.
Why not?
Just because you
They were
had dinner
developing it
with
for 3
Glenn.
years. No, that's what they told
Yeah,
me.
dinner with Glenn.
it? Did he?
Yeah.
He's never mentioned that.
No.
Shut up.
Right, let's talk about Call of Duty.
Call of Duty? Okay. What do you want to know? Yeah, it was my...
Justify why it's on our shortlist of 9 games.
It was my personal game of the year because I've become a bit jaded with Call of Duty like everyone else. You know, it did what it did well, and it was doing it year in, year out, and it was, you know, essentially the same game though, right? And the campaign was a bit whatever, same old shit.
But
and
this
multiplayer
year
was always solid. But this year they, you know, Sledgehammer took a bit of a gamble and they put in some new stuff and it paid off, and it's a great game, and the campaign's genuinely compelling and brilliant. Kevin Spacey in it.
Is that not just because of Kevin Spacey then?
It's part of it, but it's also the set pieces are genuinely great. I mean, they're twists on old Call of Duty set pieces, but they just feel fresh for some reason. I mean, you guys have played the campaign, right?
Yeah.
What I've done on the stream.
Oh, right, okay.
I haven't played all of it. But, yeah. I played more multiplayer. I played quite a lot of multiplayer. I think that I really enjoy COD, by the way, but I think that the changes that were introduced this time were vastly overplayed.
Mm.
I don't think it changes the game that much. If you go in a multiplayer match, most people aren't using all of the abilities.
Really?
They're doing the same shit as they were before. They're
No.
peeking out from behind corners. They're not jumping around, because as soon as you jump around, you jump into the middle of everyone and you die. It's not. It's different, and it does feel fresh, and it is great. But it's not a revolution. It's still a fucking Call of Duty
it's not
game.
a revolution.
It's better than Destiny, right?
And the other thing is, a 6 to 8 hour campaign and a multiplayer suite feels kind of old fashioned now.
Well,
everybody's moving beyond
yeah,
that. Titanfall's moved beyond that. Destiny's moved
How
beyond
so?
that. Well, because Titanfall's attempting to didn't do it, but like you said, it's the next step.
but it feels like Call of Duty does more because of that. It's got co-op, it's got a campaign, it's got multiplayer, it's got all this stuff. Whereas Titanfall is that one thing kind of thing, and that's what it does. So it might be old-fashioned maybe, but it feels like I'm getting more for my money.
Oh, really?
You've got those,
Right,
you've got
right.
those three distinct things.
Yeah.
It feels like I've got that, and I've got that. Whereas Titanfall's just I've got that and nothing else.
It is old fashioned, you're right. The pillars that every game must have: single player, multiplayer, co-op.
But I like that.
By the end of this generation, I
it's
think all
value
that
though,
stuff
right?
all melted into one.
Well, I tried that with Titanfall and it failed
Yeah.
dismally.
But that's a step. Right?
But they've been trying that for years, right? They've been trying it with Brink.
Yeah.
I like Brink, but it didn't work.
No.
No, like
It worked when you had
the mechanics worked, like in terms
Yeah.
of shooting and the class-based stuff, but story in
just,
a
it just
multiplayer
fizzled
game.
out, didn't it?
Yeah.
After a while, but yeah, I just everything about this year's Call of Duty I've just loved, and it's just worked for me, and I think it's arguably the best since Call of Duty 4.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Well, you still have 1 minute and 53 seconds to talk about Call of Duty.
Okay, well I got to wave 42 in Exo Survival last night.
Nice work,
That was
Rich.
awesome.
That means you're
Well
8 off
done.
Achivo, right?
Well, I got a Chivo flipping the map because it's the first time I got to level 25.
But flip-flop.
And flipped it. Flip-flop 8 waves away. It was gutting.
Next
it was
time.
so close.
Next time.
That's the beauty of it, you see. I love all the boosting and stuff, and I love all the perks and score streaks in this, and it just works. I didn't really get on with Exo Survival to begin with, and in fact in the review I said it's the weakest part of the game. But having really sunk a lot more time into it and got a good team together that works, it's brilliant. I mean, when I was reviewing it, I was with a bunch of other journos and they weren't very good.
Journos are rubbish.
Yeah.
Aren't
No,
they?
yeah.
Mate, it's great.
Bad
It's
at games.
amazing for my self-esteem. I go, I'm fucking awesome at
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Well, when I'm top of the little 4-player leaderboard and I'm getting dozens more kills than the people I'm playing with, I'm like, what's going on?
You know why?
Oh,
Because
shit.
most journos have to play every fucking thing.
Yeah.
And they can't specialise.
No, that's bullshit.
But anyway, it was a person from
Person
from
It is
IGN.
bullshit. You play everything, right?
Yeah.
You play everything, right?
I try and play everything, yeah.
I play everything.
Absolutely.
That just means that the people...
I wouldn't say I'm any good, though. I'd just say that they're a hell of a lot worse.
You're good at Destiny, aren't you?
No, I watched,
After
I
240
watched him
hours?
play yesterday, I'm not sure he is.
Yeah, you're
Well,
cowered under the
I
stairs.
have my own with
No, I
level
watched
32.
the bit that I turned over while you were streaming. You were aiming at someone and he was there and you were shooting like...
Oh, you
above him to
know
the
why?
right.
Because I've got a new ability where I can hover in midair and I'm not used to it.
You've just stood still.
I wasn't.
So yeah, all right. Well, let's turn our attention to Alien Isolation.
All right. So Destiny was my most played. Alien Isolation is my most admired game. I still can't believe that they got it made. I still can't believe that they got it greenlit. Because it goes against so many things that AAA games do now. It's 100% dedicated to essentially no action, no gunplay to speak of, which is what everyone else was doing last gen. They was kind of scared of just doing horror, right? But they were like, fuck that, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I know that I bring this up every time I play Alien, but I do think it's notable. What other games give you abilities and skills and weapons and then punish you for using them?
Destiny.
If you shoot a gun, like for most of the game, all it's going to do is like an alarm for lunchtime for the alien.
Come and have me.
And if you run, it's the same thing. I think it was amazing. It was such a good game, and such like vision. If you look at half of the AAA games that come out in a year, they might be really fun, but they're all quite safe, right? If you're going to spend £50 million making a game, or dollars or whatever, you can't be too crazy with it.
Yeah.
But Sega and Creative Assembly kind of took a risk on Alien, and it ended up being really, really good. It's too long, and I think that's because they were scared that it was just a single-player experience, that no one would buy it. But other than that, I just thought it was brilliant. I thought it had a decent story. The art style was fucking beautiful.
Well, the commitment to, replicating the look and feel of the original movie, they've just gone above and beyond, right?
And the necks of the Working Joes are like my most memorable video game thing in 2014, because they're all like rubbery and loose and creepy. You know, the synthetic things when they come at you. And also, whoever programmed the speed that they walk is a fucking genius. Because you know in like 80s and 90s horror films, where they're running through the woods, and every time they turn around, he's just walking. The serial killer's walking after him, but he's still kind of within distance. That's what the Working Joes are. Yeah. You can leg it, and you turn around, and they're still just slowly walking after you. Their rubbery fucking necks and their weird eyes. I really liked it.
Awesome.
No one's going to disagree with me.
No.
You're not going to do anything. Is your hangover just kicked in?
No, I just genuinely agree.
I want to play it more. I really want to get into it.
I haven't even mentioned the kind of main draw. One alien stalking you, one enemy stalking you throughout the entirety of the game. I don't know many other games that have had like one main boss that's chased you the whole way.
The only thing I can think of is in Resident Evil 2, if you played the B scenario, and there's that Mr. X guy, and he stalks you throughout the entire game, but he's mostly scripted when he appears. So, an AI thing that's different every time, no. I think that's totally uncharted territory, as far as I know.
That's alright. That's the one caveat I'll give it, is that one of the things that they said about the Alien, or one of the things that was kind of talked up in the marketing, is that it's never the same twice. That's not true. And it's not always AI. There's loads of bits where it's scripted.
When you walk out and... Well, so the first room where you encounter like 4 guards, I systematically went and took them all out.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I did that bit, and I went back. And the alien, they're there that you went to sneak past and come back, and the aliens killed them all.
Is that where they're in a hangar?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And you
I went under the ducts.
I killed them all.
Oh, really? Oh.
I snuck round, I took them all out, snapped their necks, all that crazy shit.
Okay.
And then when I went back, the alien was just kind of stood in the room, not sure what to do, because I'd done his job for him. But he always drops out the grate.
Yeah.
Like, by the door where you have to go.
Right.
And when I went to play through it on the Xbox version, because that was on the PS4 version, on the Xbox version, I didn't kill anyone, and then he scripted there to kill them, but also come out the same grate.
Yeah.
So in the 360, in the PS4 version, when I killed everyone, he dropped out, and there was no one to kill, but he dropped out the same vent.
Yeah.
And in the Xbox One version, he dropped out the same vent, killed the guy, and then
that's funny.
Systematically picked them out. So yeah, it is scripted, but
there's bits where they have to make sure that it's in certain places.
Like every time with the password on that first computer, you have to go and get the doctor's ID or something like that. very early on.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, they have to manage it to a degree.
Yeah, great. I'm sure we'll come back to this game later on. Sunset Overdrive. Well, Alien we'll come back to.
Yeah.
Because obviously...
It's in the...
Spoilers! So Sunset Overdrive for me was my actual personal game of the year.
Yeah?
Why?
Because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, for many reasons.
Yeah.
It's genuinely the funniest game I've played since Portal 2.
Okay.
Is it funnier than South Park, Stick of Truth? Because you really liked that.
Yeah, that was actually genuinely hilarious.
Yeah.
But that's South Park humour. You either get it or you don't.
I played South Park with a big stupid grin on my face the entire time. The whole thing is just great.
But that's South Park humour, right? You either like South Park humour
or you love it or hate it, yeah.
Whereas Sunset Overdrive...
You're indifferent.
With Sunset Overdrive, the humour in that game was... It was like... Especially on the back of Fuse as well from Insomniac. The Insomniac's Fuse started out as being like a really fun, playful game, and then ended up being a serious
a little bit serious,
shooter.
yeah.
Now, Sunset started off as a fun, ridiculous, colourful game and ended that way, and that's reflected in the script that it doesn't take itself too seriously.
I think anarchic is the word, right? It's anarchy, the spirit of anarchy.
It's not the word, Rich.
It is anarchic.
It's not.
It is.
Stop putting words in my mouth. I don't know. I genuinely just think it doesn't take itself seriously at all.
Yeah.
And it pokes fun at the stuff that we... Because there's a lot of in-jokes. For a gamer, people would appreciate that. Like, if I get that to my mum and said, play this, and she listened to the story, she'd be like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like an in-joke as like a gamer perspective. And... So yeah, that's just the humour in the script, and obviously the acting. It was Stephanie, I want to say, Lemelin.
Okay.
She does a great job as
the voice, the female voice,
female ship.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, the minute-to-minute gameplay is what makes that game.
It's the game I have on my hard drive, and I just go to Sunset Overdrive now and again, and I dip into it, and I have a blast.
Well, this is it. You come in, and you get used to the traversal, the combat, the crazy weapons, the worlds, the colourfulness of it all, and it all just blends in to be this perfect.
Yeah. I quickly learned just to keep the X button held, basically. So that I'm always grinding, I'm always flipping off poles, I'm always balancing, I'm always wall running. And
you don't need to hold it.
You do, don't you?
No.
Oh, well, I pretty much hold it. I press the little right bumper boosty thing and then jump and flip. And
you just press it once.
Okay.
So you can grind around the entire level.
Yeah, I think... I don't know.
Insomniac's always been good at making cool weapons.
Yeah, they've made...
Resistance 3 had some fantastic weapons.
Resistance 1 and 2 did too. Even if the games weren't as good.
Yeah. I think Resistance 3 is one of the most underrated games.
Is that your game of the year?
Ever. It's my game of the year, yeah.
Is that your game of the generation?
I know that was the one I didn't play. I played it once at E3 with the Move controllery thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was... I couldn't work it, and I never played it after that. Yeah, I reviewed Resistance 2 for another site ages ago, and that was the last time I played Resistance.
Yeah, they're good. There's some great ones in Sunset, right?
Nice to bring us back on topic.
Was it the Captain Ahab? I just got that.
What does that do?
It's like a big harpoon thing with a fizzy attached to it, so it's great.
There's loads. There are like, obviously the TNT Teddy.
Yeah.
The TN Teddy, right?
TN Teddy, yeah.
The pulse mines and shit like that. And
what's your hand cannon
the acid
you've got?
sprinkler.
Dirty Harry. Oh, the compensator.
Yeah, the
flaming
compensator.
compensator.
Oh, that's the one that looks
that's
like
my go-to weapon.
Right.
That's my go-to weapon.
But that's so powerful as well. But just genuinely, it's just fun.
Wait, don't you get that early doors?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then it's still relevant.
Well, you can level up the weapons.
The more you use them, the more they level up, and you can add amps to them. And you're constantly earning little badges and stuff that give you perks and things as well. That's
a good thing.
Really cool.
Cherry drops, like cookie crumbs.
Yeah.
All the way to, throughout the entire game and beyond.
The whole time I was unlocking things.
Yeah.
Like, I've unlocked this. Oh, this. It's just, it throws so much at you, and you're constantly hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is Sunset Overdrive, and that for me, personally, my game of the year.
The more I think about it, it's actually quite a strong choice.
Of
the 3, 2.
Yeah, and let's talk about Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor, it's me again. Wow, okay. Well, I gave this an 8 initially, and I loved it to bits, but I had a few issues with it, like the story and stuff.
So you saying it's like an anti-Dragon Age 2?
What's wrong with the story?
Oh, right, yeah, see, I overrated that game, Jesus. Well, it just kind of fizzles out towards the end, and the boss encounters are disappointing. And it seems a little short. I've played through it again over Christmas for a second time, and I've just loved every second
you
of it.
Enjoyed it
it's
more.
Just brilliant. Yeah, it's just so good. The combat's great. The executions when you chop off an Uruk's head is just super satisfying every time.
I'd be well up for playing it, but somebody's still got the Office copy at their house.
Me?
Yeah.
It's because I love it. I want it. No. I bought the season pass and I played the Lord of the Hunt DLC as well, and that's another 5 war chiefs to take out, a whole other Nemesis-y system to get involved in. So yeah, I mean it's a game of two halves as well. You got the first half of sort of
in the second half,
one part of Mordor. I mean that's one Nemesis system. Shut up. One set of war chiefs to take out, and then you got the second part in a lusher, greener part of Mordor. I think it's called Nirn.
The lusher. Is there such a place?
Yeah, apparently it's this. There it is explained. It's like a fertile part of Mordor, but it's still corrupted by evil and whatever. It's called Nirn, and there's another set of war chiefs and stuff to do there. But as you unlock abilities, just things change and you get more. You know, your prowess develops and your character develops, and it just gets more and more fun the more you play.
When they first started talking about it, I thought it was going to be a bit of an Assassin's Creed knockoff.
It is, right?
That's what they said initially, but all it is the character movement when he's climbing and stuff.
No,
really.
I don't mean the animation stuff that they were talking about. I mean just in general.
It's not at all, really.
No?
No, I mean, there's elements like when you unlock that you have to climb these towers and unlock them, and they're your fast travel points. That's very Assassin's Creed. You don't have to sink them. No. You can just jump off high anywhere and you'll land just because you're a wraith, you're undead. You can, it's hard for you to die. But no, it's just brilliant. It's brilliant. The abilities are perfectly pitched. Everything's paced properly, which is why it's so disappointing that it kind of loses momentum at the end. It's sort of a series of big battles, and then there's 2 bosses you fight back to back, essentially, and they're just a bit crap.
In this year's Battle of Assassin games,
Mm-hmm.
it beats both of the.
It beats Rogue
Creed.
and Unity, and Rogue was the better of the 2 Assassin's Creeds as well, in my opinion. But yeah, Shadow of Mordor, I would.
As opposed to my opinion.
What's your opinion?
I don't know. It's just
I'm
like
just saying in my opinion.
Everything that you say is your opinion.
Because if someone's going, "Oh, you full of shit," that's bollocks. But it's my opinion. That's what I'm saying.
Well, obviously you said it.
Well,
that's how opinions work.
Clarifying. You pedant. Jeez.
Pedant pal.
But yeah, Unity was bottom of the pile in terms of those games this year. Not completely awful. I still gave it a 7, didn't I? Something 75.
Nearly as much as you gave Mordor.
Yeah, when you think about it like that. Yeah. I should have given Mordor like 85, 90 in retrospect, but...
Do you imagine we'll find Nemesis in more games, or knockoff versions of it?
I hope so. I think the scope for a Mordor sequel is massive. I can't wait. If they develop that Nemesis system and...
Was it last gen as well?
It was last gen 2, but I don't think the Nemesis system was in the last gen.
Oh really?
Yeah, not to the degree it was in the current gen.
I'd like to play Middle-earth Shadow of Hobbiton.
Would you?
Yeah.
Where you go and slay a load of hobbits?
Yeah. You play a hobbit, like an assassin hobbit.
No, you play as Talion, but you're killing hobbits.
No, I would play as Frodo.
You pick them up and...
like a kind of dirty serial killer Frodo.
Yeah, like going into that bar and getting that barmaid and just slitting her throat.
And just shivering her in the shower.
Wow.
Shivering her in the shower.
Like, if we didn't have a name for this episode, which is the one where we discuss our games of the year, it would be the one where we discuss how to shiver
a hobbit
in the shower. A
bar wench in the shower.
A hobbity bar wench.
It's a bit strong.
What's her name? Thingy wants to marry her.
I don't know.
And he does in the end.
That's obscure.
Sam loves her.
Sam was Genji's.
No idea. That's too
kind of nerds are you.
Too obscure for me.
Terrible nerds?
Terrible nerds.
So yeah, okay, that about does.
You're not going to do this for 15 seconds.
Raugs and Caradors as well, they're fun to ride. Yeah. They're like wildlife you can dominate and then ride them around.
Fascinating.
In the Lord of the Hunt, there's a vomiting Graug called a wretched Graug, and it just pukes everywhere. And it has the most sound effects. Beautiful.
Fascinating. Tell us about the game that you call Far Cry 4.
Alright.
What do you call it?
Destiny was my most played, Alien was my most admired. Far Cry 4 is the game that I just had the most fun with. For the first, good chunk I didn't. For the first 10 hours until I'd unlocked all of the abilities, it was actually quite a frustrating game.
Really?
I was dying quite a lot and just wasn't very good.
Oh, it takes some time to get into, right?
Yeah, for sure. But once I'd unlocked everything, it's just so much fun. It was never going to be my outright game of the year because it's too Far Cry 3 plus.
Yeah.
But taking down outposts, taking down fortresses, even co-op was kind of fun when your partner didn't jump out of a fucking helicopter and leave you crash into your death.
That's my highlight of the year.
I think in terms of open world games, I enjoy playing the last two Far Cry games far more than any other open world game, including the Grand Theft Auto games.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I 1000G'd both those Far Cry games.
I'm going.
Far Cry 3 and 4. I 100%ed the shit out of them.
I've not played Far Cry 4, and you know what? I don't plan to.
Well, you're denying yourself great pleasure.
Oh.
Alright.
No, I don't know. I've seen you play it a lot. I've seen my flatmate Sam play it a lot.
Doesn't appeal to you?
No.
Why not?
Yeah.
Seems like your kind of game.
One of my top favourite games of all time was Far Cry.
Well,
the original.
That seems bizarre.
Made by
you wouldn't
Crytek.
want to play the others.
But this doesn't appeal to me. You know why?
It's a shame.
Because the original Far Cry, the Crytek one, was just this open world game where you could go in and tackle situations how you want. Ubisoft have done their Ubisoft thing with Far Cry, where they put fucking collectibles and they towers.
You don't have to go for those.
Forts, but it's in my nature to go for them. So I'm not.
You're your own worst enemy.
Far Cry 3 and 4 are the only games where I actually enjoy doing all that shit.
Yeah.
I hate collectibles. I never do them. I never got all the feathers. I just don't do that shit because it's pointless. I haven't even done it in Destiny. I've been playing it for however many hundreds of hours.
Are there collectibles? Grimwash?
Ghosts.
Oh,
Dead
the ghosts. Right.
But I love doing it in that because what happens is when you're on your way to a tower to take the tower down, you get into some kind of emergent battle where you start a fight with some people and then a fucking bear comes in and then you get attacked by an eagle and then something blows up. You set yourself a target and on the way to those places something amazing always happens.
Yeah, there's always stories to tell, right?
Yeah.
Like the 3 rhinos or whatever I had smashing a load of cars and then they all set on fire. So there's just this massive fire with rhinos in it and shit and people dying. And this eagle swooped in and it was just ridiculous.
Picked up the rhino, flew off with the
I
rhino.
have seen eagles flying through the air carrying like little goats and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck, where's he going?
We watched a video yesterday where this dude, he was just about to be. There was a bear in front of him, right? And he flew a remote charge thing.
C4 thing, yeah.
And the bear was kind of shaping up to go for him, but at the same time you could hear an eagle above him waiting to attack. And just as the animation started for the eagle attack, so it's there. He pressed the C4 explosion. The bear blew up, went flying through the air, and killed the eagle. Yeah, and they both landed in like a pile behind him, and he kind of looked around. Yeah, stuff like that is what makes Far Cry 4 great. And one of the good things that Far Cry 4 did was that Far Cry 3 had sections that weren't really open world, the story bits where they pushed the story forwards, which I enjoyed actually a lot.
Yeah.
But they kind of learnt that the biggest strength of Far Cry is fucking about in the open world. So now there are bits that steer you down a certain path, but most of it plays out within the open world.
And also making a wallet out of 4 rhino skins, because apparently killing 1 rhino isn't enough to make a wallet.
It is the most gamey game.
Imagine like 4 rhino skins now. Oh fuck, man!
That's just enough to make a wallet. That
3.
Yeah.
I can't make a wallet
out of that.
How big is your fucking wallet? So
it's ridiculous.
That is Far Cry. But that's all your games now, right?
Yeah, all three.
Yeah,
Most played, most admired, most fun.
Okay, so I started with my most admired, then I went on to my most fun. Now this is my most played.
Yeah,
Dragon
isn't it?
Age
Yeah.
Inquisition. Inquisition.
Go on.
Genuinely the best RPG I have played since Mass Effect 3.
Wow, that's some statement.
Probably better than Mass Effect 3.
Really?
Yeah. Mass Effect 3 was amazing.
I enjoyed it. I loved it.
But it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best of the Mass Effects though.
No,
I think I gave it a score that was higher than all the other Mass Effects.
But Dragon Age Inquisition is genuinely the best RPG this year.
Why?
Because it makes you feel powerful.
Okay.
It's the whole Inquisitor thing where you feel like you are...
The centre of the universe, basically. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the most empowering game I think I've ever played.
Yeah.
I play games where you're Commander Shepard, yeah, great, but you still answer to somebody else.
Right.
When you're the Inquisitor, you are you are the king essentially. You decide how to treat prisoners. You decide who to side with, and everybody follows you. And it's brilliant. It's classic BioWare stuff. It's choice and consequence, and the story is really fucking good, like really good. Like we haven't seen it on the stream yet. Like Act 3 to the end is so strong, in terms of twists, in terms of. But I mean, you've only got to look at it. It's the best piece of fan service in a long time, right? I mean, you've got old characters in there like Varric, Cassandra, Liliana, who are back in the game, and then you have the protagonist. This might be a spoiler, so. Just stop listening for 30 seconds if you've not played it. Actually, no, I'm not even going to say it. But you have different people from different games showing up at different times.
Yeah.
And it's just brilliant. In terms of RPG, they've got this brilliant balance between Dragon Age 1's tactical stuff to Dragon Age 2's action-oriented RPG stuff.
Yeah.
You can customise your characters, which is fucking awesome. You can customise your armour. You can make weapons. You can craft armour. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Is the combat strong enough?
People say it looks like you're just sort of pressing the trigger the whole time.
Well, I think as a mage, maybe.
Right.
Because you're waiting for your mana to regenerate.
Yeah.
And your spells to
Okay.
think. But you play Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
You're just pressing the right trigger the whole time.
Yeah. Although you're
That's
aiming
not
in
a
that.
good comparison.
Yeah,
Why is it that?
You're
Because
not
you're
aiming.
moving around all of the time in Call of Duty.
Yeah, you don't have to aim.
really quickly, and you're using the environment
This is
to
an
hide
RPG.
behind
This
shit.
is an RPG.
So don't use Call of Duty as a comparison.
No, but what I'm saying is that as an RPG, you stood around a lot of time. You play Persona.
I play Persona.
Exactly. It's turn-based. You stood around. You combat. You stand around. You hit commands.
Yeah, and
You can
people
say it
forget
about
you've
any
got
game.
you've got the tactical view as well. If you want more depth in your
Did
combat.
you use that much?
No, not really.
No.
But I prefer the action combat
Yeah, I
too.
do as well.
I think if you played Nightmare, do you reckon you'd use it more?
Yeah,
You'd have to,
absolutely.
right?
You'd have to.
I assume so.
Yeah, because you'd have to do things like open up the enemy, take him down, stagger him, that kind of thing, and then open him up for your attacks. I will go to Nightmare eventually, but I put 150 hours into that game and I'm still playing it on the stream, and I'm still not bored of it. And I will go back and do Nightmare. So I'd say most played. Like it's very rough around the edges. Otherwise, for me, it would be my game of the year. And it's not massively next gen either, which is a shame. I'm waiting. I think The Witcher will be like that moment.
Visually, yeah.
Yeah, no, but game wise as well.
Right.
Like it's just this huge open world. You know what? I'm gonna go and take down a griffin.
Right,
That kind
right,
of thing. So
I have a feeling Arkham Knight might be a really next gen game as well.
I don't.
Based on what I've played so far.
I think it's overrated.
I think you're wrong.
You couldn't even get the Batmobile on an Xbox 360 disc.
There you
That's what
go.
I said.
See? How next
So?
gen is that?
So
Amazing.
That sounds like such a dubious fact, though.
It does, doesn't it?
It's not really sure.
It's like start sticking so many fucking polygons on that and actually make the story good.
Oh, the story will be great, I'm sure.
Right, Richard, you're going to finish up our last 5 minutes before we talk about I Gotcha.
Okay, so if Call of Duty was my most played and probably most admired, and Shadow Mordor was my most... What was the other thing?
Well,
most underappreciated, actually. I should have given that a higher score. Wolfenstein is my...
I knew this was going to happen.
I'll say it's my game of the year.
Shooting.
It's my other game of the year. My most Nazi shooty one. Yeah,
It's brilliant. So this is
Wolfenstein: The New Order. It was a big comeback, right, for the series. It had kind of floundered with those Castle Wolfenstein games.
Well, actually, you say that. The last Wolfenstein was actually pretty good.
Was it alright?
Yeah.
That was the Raven
But
stuff.
it wasn't like a... I think this has made it vital again, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's
made it relevant again, right?
Yeah.
The other one was just like, yeah, this is great. And it was. I think it was a really good game.
It's like Machine Games encapsulated the spirit of Wolfenstein and ran with it and just made Blazkowicz into this kind of slightly more three-dimensional character than he'd been before.
Well, because he was 2D.
He was 2D,
before, right?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
in every sense of the word. And just little things like little choices that sort of changed the strand of the story. I mean, they were pretty much, binary choices you were making. Nothing major, but just little things like that, and just the gunplay felt chunky and robust.
Yeah.
And it was just a fun game.
I liked the fact that it wasn't... Because before I went to it, I imagined that it was just going to be like a corridor shooter. But it wasn't at all. There's sections in it where you get quite a lot of choice over how you approach it.
Yeah,
I'm not counting down the time, I just couldn't talk.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I always come back to that example that we talked about with the, your first encounter with the two mech things. You can run around the back of the truck and press a button, and one of them just deactivates. You don't even have to blow it up.
I didn't realise
Stuff like that's
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
realise that. I fought them for ages and died a lot there.
And it's basically Starbreeze, right? And I fucking love Starbreeze.
I mean, Riddick
was great.
Yeah.
You're a big Darkness fan,
Yeah,
right?
massive.
I'm a big Darkness fan as well. I love those games.
Yeah, but you like the band?
The Darkness. Fucking hell. What happened to them?
They did a Christmas song.
Yeah, and
And
that's
that's it. They can retire now.
But Starbreeze, as far as I'm concerned, they kind of didn't really put a foot wrong, did they? They contributed to the Brothers, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't think it was the original people. But
No, but
they made it. Starbreeze made it.
yeah. So their strength in storytelling, they really brought that across, and it's just
And there was loads of boobs, right?
There were I didn't know why.
There was boobs galore.
Where were the boobs?
There's like sex scenes and stuff.
There's one little sort of tender, desperate sex scene on the train.
There's like 2 or 3, right?
There was a boobie.
Booby.
There was
I remember
that camp Nazi.
There's the one on the train. There was the one,
right.
the one on the HQ as well.
I'm struggling to remember.
Yeah.
I like that Dan's got it catalogue.
Yeah, he's got them. There's this one, this one,
Wank
this one.
bank.
No, I only remember that scene on the train because it's like...
Wank bank.
No. No. Why?
The internet
also
means you
remember,
kind of don't need a wank bank anymore, doesn't it?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
internet
It's
is
the
a wank
wank
bank.
bank.
Yeah. I don't know if we should go off on this tangent.
No, I'm going to bring it back. I like that you can dual wield sniper rifles.
Yeah.
Could you wield anything?
Yeah,
really?
pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's
Yeah.
brilliant.
And shotguns.
Every FPS should let you do that. I want every first-person shooter to let you dual
No,
wield
no,
whatever the hell you want.
No, I disagree. I think that's very Wolfenstein-y.
It is, but
Imagine fucking Destiny, you're dual wielding sniper
it
rifles.
would have made it way more fun.
It's like, it doesn't work.
Tell me you
Zoom in.
wouldn't want to dual wield 2 of those big heavy machine guns.
I would.
Exactly, it'd be brilliant. Dual wielding isn't used enough. I don't know.
No.
You can dual wield 2 miniguns in Call of Duty, which is cool.
Mm.
They're a specific weapon on their own.
Fascinating.
That was me dual wielding.
Fascinating.
It wasn't me holding 2 knobs. And
Wow. I never even thought that.
Alright,
It
so
was
we're all
too
agreed
big.
that I won, right? Yeah.
What did you? What with that? No.
With this whole
No.
exercise, I won.
No.
Yeah.
No. I
Alright.
won. I think
How
I
have you
won.
won? What do you mean by that?
Just because I'm the best.
Do you know what we should do? Right. No one ever comments on these video casts, but
They do.
no,
On
on
YouTube.
YouTube. All right then. in the comments, who won out of us three? Who's got the best selection of games? Call of Duty, Shadow of Mordor, and Wolfenstein.
Titanfall, Sunset, Dragon Age.
Alien, Destiny, Far Cry 4.
Mate, I've got this one.
Who's got the best selection?
Right, so look, I'm gonna predict how the crowd's gonna vote. The crowd, our audience.
The crowd.
Lee's out already. Genuinely, just for having Destiny in there.
Right.
You're gone.
So they're going to play
You're
Devil's
out.
Advocate now and vote for him.
No, you're out because you got Call of Duty in there.
And people don't like Call of Duty.
No, even though it's a great game.
People do like Call of Duty, but they love to hate on it.
What I've got in there, I've got fucking BioWare game, and everybody loves the BioWare games. I've got the most colourful Xbox One exclusive.
Yeah, but people...
Oh, actually,
you're Xbox One exclusive.
I might be out. I'm PST. You're
yeah,
Xbox fanboy. Xbox fanboy.
I didn't even notice.
Well, no, that's EA.
What's wrong with
yeah,
you?
yeah, that's true.
Titanfall's EA.
And Dragon Age is EA.
Yeah. EA fanboy.
Yeah,
So I'm out as well.
fanboy.
Okay, nobody wins.
No one wins.
You've got Sega, Activision, Ubisoft. You got Ubisoft game, you're out.
Yeah.
Activision,
Warner,
Bethesda.
I might be alright.
I'm not. I've got Microsoft and EA.
Yeah, you're screwed. So anyway, there we go. That's that, right? That's our personal games of the year.
I don't know how.
I stopped it. We done it. We got.
Oh, did we? But we didn't get the last 10 minutes, so I don't know when to stop the podcast now. So we're going to speak for hours.
Let's make this a 4-hour epic.
We'll just go to 57 minutes.
Okay, thanks, mate. So if you want to let us know who wins, actually no, sod that. Who has the worst three out there? And whoever has the worst three, we will find some horrific punishment that we do on the live stream. Why does it always have to be a forfeit? Why? Because it makes it interesting for people. They get invested in the fact that you're about to...
But it's never you, guys. It's never you.
People that are watching, just remember, I dressed in a dress, Rich shaved his beard off, Dan hasn't done anything yet.
But no, that shouldn't... Don't let that cloud your judgment.
Yeah, let it cloud your judgment.
Yeah, totally.
But, alright, well, we'll find something to do. But, yeah. Alright, so... Destiny, Alien, Far Cry 4, Titanfall, Sunset, Dragon Age, COD, Mordor, Wolfie.
Yeah.
But... our game of the year was
Destiny. I know, is that right? Alien Isolation.
Yeah, by critical consensus.
Yeah, so what we did this year was we had a vote, and when I say we, I mean us three plus Lee Abrahams.
So basically, the major reviewers.
Yeah, basically. And it was quite interesting because Alien, saying that it won by default is
consensus.
Yeah, I was the only one that picked Alien as my number one.
Yeah.
Nobody else picked Alien as their favourite game of the year.
My number one was COD.
Okay, what was Lee's number one was Dark Souls 2. My number one was Sunset. Yeah.
Yep.
But Alien was my number 2. I think.
Yeah, it was nearly everyone's number 2.
Yeah, it was my number 2.
I haven't played it enough. If I played it more, it could be my number 1. But I've only played about.
But that's the first time we've had a scientific kind of.
It's not the most scientific, but it's democratic, I think, right?
Well, it's scientific. It's a little study.
Right, okay.
It's a little study, Rich.
Yeah, usually what happens is it's whoever can shout loudest, and no prizes for guessing who that is.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You're going to bring up the Far Cry 3 example now, aren't you?
I have not reviewed a game of the year on the site ever.
No, but you will shoot somebody down for suggesting one without even playing it. You've got very specific ideas in your
because
plan.
I know.
I'd have said, what if we'd have all voted for Destiny?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But no, let's at least choose something that's remotely realistic.
Far Cry 4. You wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
No, I wouldn't have, you're right.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't have, but anyway.
No, that's what I mean though. But if COD or Sunset or Titanfall or Dragon Age, any game that I've chosen was in the running, then I want to shut that down.
It's something worth bringing up.
I only shoot down ridiculous ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you look on the site, the highest reviewed game that we had last year by a long way was Dark Side Souls 2.
Dark Souls.
But this is why it lost out, because none of us, other than Lee, who's the one who gave it 95%, Lee Abrahams, none of us had it in our top even
No,
4,
I
5,
didn't play
6.
it. I had no interest in that game because Dark Souls just drained me completely.
In the email thread when we were casting our votes, Rich wrote, "Screw that game. Abraham's review was ludicrous." Yes, you, Abraham's.
Yeah.
Dan pitched in with "Merry Christmas, fuck pigs." I can't remember what Lee Abraham said.
He said we're all heathens or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're wondering why our heist review game didn't appear, that's why.
Well, I don't think that's right anyway, because Game of the Year it's not an exact science.
Yeah.
Unlike
Totally,
unlike this year for us.
Yeah.
It was an exact science. But even then, it's not. You're right. It's democratic. What were the runners up?
I love my favourite game.
I love that you don't know this.
Yeah, I don't remember. There were so many categories. Keep talking.
So yeah, I was going to talk about the
Watch
runners
Dogs.
up.
Was Watch Dogs in there?
No.
Someone on Twitter asked why can't Watch Dogs be Game of the Year.
We've responded to that in the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Why can't it?
I can't remember. What did we say?
Because it was just alright. It was good.
It felt like the beginning of something
Special.
but not special enough in and of itself.
It's Assassin's Creed 1 all over again.
To be Game of the Year.
It's
Yeah.
mechanically solid, but
Yeah. It hasn't
it's
got an
rough
X
around
factor.
the edges. Yeah.
It needs an X factor to make it a bit more stand out.
Sunset and Titanfall were our runners-up on XBA.
Okay.
I've got 2 of our runners up.
I think Wolfenstein deserved more. I thought Wolfenstein
No,
would come
'cause
higher.
To me, Wolfenstein didn't do enough to win Game of the Year. But we'll go back to this age-old fucking argument where not a lot of titles did enough to win Game of the Year. Like in last year, Alien would not. I still think GTA 5 is a better game than everything on this list.
Oh, really?
It's funny, isn't it? Because to win Game of the Year, usually you're looking for it to do something ambitious, to be visually have a certain kind of, or production values wise, to have a certain kind of standard. There's a certain kind of game that wins Game of the Year, and this year we kind of lacked them.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, you'd have said it was going to be Titanfall or Destiny,
It's weird.
with the amount of hype and the amount of like interesting ideas that they had. But it didn't work out like that
The
at
more
all.
I think about it, there's so many games I had fun with that I didn't even think about as a Game of the Year candidate. Like Lego Batman 3, it was brilliant. It was great fun. Best Lego game I've played.
That's a good example
in a long time, but
of one.
didn't
It doesn't
get a look in.
but it doesn't
at
do
all.
enough that's
yeah.
new.
Yeah,
but,
Lego
but it's
games are
interesting.
Generic, right?
But that's an
Well,
interesting
it's a Lego
concept in
game,
itself.
That's what I mean.
Don't you think?
In terms of generic.
Because
Yeah.
I just said that Far Cry 4 was the game I had the most fun playing this year.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be my game of the year? Why didn't I vote that number one? I enjoyed playing Far Cry 4 more than
Because
I
I
did
think
Alien.
you recognise that is something that's essentially been done before.
But games aren't
Whereas Alien Isolation was unique, right?
Games
in a
aren't
sense.
just about fun though. If it was just about fun, I'd never fucking play Alien Isolation.
Do you think
Alien
so?
Isolation
No, exactly,
is not a fun
Does this
game.
mean we should introduce a new category? Most fun game?
Most fun game,
Yeah.
yeah. But like Alien Isolation is not fun. It's terrifying.
It kind of
But
is
it's
fun, but
brilliant.
in a weird kind of way.
Like just to get that emotion, it brings emotions out of you that a good book or a good film does. Do you know what I mean? Like that is why Alien Isolation is Game of the Year, not because it's the most fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's games on this list that are far more fun. Sunset's the most fun thing I've played in years,
Right.
but I wouldn't say it's Game of the Year. Well, it was actually my Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But I do like. Incidentally, you voted Alien first, right?
Yeah.
I voted it second.
I voted
Rich.
second.
Second, so it was only Lee's Game of the Year. What was Abrams?
What was his game of the year? Where did
No.
he put Alien?
Where did he put Alien? It was like second, wasn't it, or third?
Second or third?
But he put fucking Sunset sixth. Fuck that guy.
He's just not played it, right? He just hasn't played it. If you haven't played something, then
He put it second. Everyone put it second. I put it first.
Yeah, so I mean, by the democratic process, it wins. But
tight.
I don't want to say it was a disappointing year for games, but
Do you think we celebrated indies enough this year?
fuck indies.
Oh, I know we know your stance, but
no,
I think it's been a good year for indie games, right?
I think it's been a good year for
Name
small games.
Name one. Super Time Force. That's brilliant. Great fun.
Rogue Legacy, and if we're just calling
yeah.
small games rather than indies, Valiant Hearts was great.
Yeah,
you enjoyed
Child
of Light?
Child of Light was brilliant. Yeah, great fun.
Does Outlast? That's an indie. I enjoyed.
Yeah, Kalimba was cool. It was a cool little game. Really liked it.
None of them are as good as Alien Isolation.
Well, no, I think Strength in Depth. It was a good year.
Yeah,
but we didn't have two things to kind of hang our coat on and go, this is where games are going, this is what they're doing, and this is the best example of it.
I think this year we'll see that.
Do you think there are too many sort of 8-bit-y type side scrollers that are indie games? It's like enough already.
I think the things that are going to set the world alight this year are the games that do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of generic games out this year.
Yeah.
Starting in the end of Jan.
Could this year be the biggest year yet? Do you think potentially?
I think this is the year when next gen really starts hitting its stride.
Witcher.
It's going to be the year where next gen or new gen or whatever has to start.
Well, it's still next gen until last gen's obliterated.
I usually say new gen just because otherwise people go, it's not next gen, it's like, whatever. It's new gen, you can't argue with that.
But yeah, The Witcher's next gen only, right?
Yeah.
Batman's next gen only, and they both, you can tell that as well, it's noticeable.
I feel like it's the year next gen has to justify itself, has to, really make a compelling case for people who haven't sort of ditched last gen yet and hopped on board to either do that or...
there hasn't been one yet, has there?
There's not a compelling enough reason.
There hasn't been a Gears of War.
And on that note, that is the topic of the next podcast.
Oh, really?
The year ahead.
Yes.
So next week we will be talking about this in much more detail, actually running through the games that publishers have, what we're excited about, the potential announcements that next year is going to bring. Like Mass Effect 4.
I think it's already a massive year because look how much stuff's been pushed into 2015, into this year. Yeah. Loads of stuff. It's going to be
great. We've not had E3 yet.
Yeah, not
so I imagine the stuff that's going to be announced.
Plus, there's going to be more Destiny DLC.
I can't wait.
I don't know. Yeah. Right, but so we'll definitely so before we get back into our normal format, which is 2 weeks time, next week we're going to talk about the year ahead. Mm-hmm. This was pretty much the year in review. The next one is the year ahead, and then we'll get back to normal after that. When people actually fucking start announcing shit and doing news.
Yes.
Rather than it's been really quiet this week.
It's been kind of
odd.
What we would call low news.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Metal Gear chicken
shrug.
heads.
Metal Gear chicken masks.
But yeah.
Stuff.
Right, so thank you very much for joining us. I've been Dan Webb.
I've been Lee Bradley.
And I've been Rich Walker.
Thank you very much, and we will see you next week, same time, same place, same face.
Be there or be square. See you.
See you later. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.